By the way, this joke is for my mother and my mother only. Hi friends. So we were already fully made up today. If you want to know how I got to here, I'll link it up here. It's a fun first impressions, pretty much a full face, lots of good stuff in there, so highly recommend. But for today's video, we are doing something that is long overdue. Folks, we're gonna go through some beauty trash, and I don't mean myself. This has been accumulating for well over a year now. The plan was to do this once a year. That is definitely what I should have done because this is gonna be a long one. And my arms are actually getting tired, so why don't we just carry on? If that sounds like fun to you, then please keep on watching, and let's get started. I'm afraid of everything spilling out if I tip it over too much, but this whole basket is full of beauty trash. There's a lot to unpack here, so we're just gonna jump right on in because I want to keep this under an hour. I love beauty trash videos. It's fun to look at all of the things that you actually made it all the way through. There are a couple of things in here that I didn't make it all the way through that are expired. I think the last time I did an Empties video was well over a year ago. I'll link it up here. It was when we were still in the old place, so it must have been. And I just started collecting as soon as that video was over. So this garbage has actually traveled with me from my old basement suite all the way to my new apartment. That is how dedicated I am. There's some makeup in here, but it's a lot of skincare and it's also some body care. Why don't we just dive on in? I'm just gonna start picking shit because otherwise we're gonna be here all night. Let's start it off with something that I go through at least once every 2 months. This is the Garnier Skin Active Micellar Water. To remove my makeup, I use a little bit of this with one of these. This is a makeup eraser cloth. They are washable, reusable, and this is just a really decent micellar water that is at the drugstore. It's a great price. I don't understand why you'd pay more for micellar water. This stuff works great. I usually toggle between the dry sensitive skin formula and the normal and sensitive skin formula with rose water. They're pretty much the same thing. I don't really see a difference between the two. Like, please don't pay more than $12 for micellar water. Just don't do it. This stuff is great. Ooh, let's talk a little bit about a local business. These are from Bubble Bath and Soap Co., Edmonton-based Bath and Body Works brand, and they make things like scrubs and body butters and bath bombs. I wanted to try out a bunch of their products, so I went and picked up a whole whack of this stuff right around the holiday season. I was trying to find Lush alternatives because I don't feel comfortable supporting Lush anymore, and I went through 2 tubs of these. This is the Crystal Magic Body Scrub. I only wish that there was more product. For me, I go through sugar scrubs so quickly, it's hard to keep one in stock. So I don't have one in the shower at all times, but on special occasions, I really love a body scrub. And these whipped ones are really lovely. They're very light, but they've got a nice fine grit to them. You can really feel the exfoliation happening, but there's no chunks of almond or anything scary in there. Like, it's not super abrasive either. How did this one smell again? Oh yeah, this one was like very witchy, patchouli-esque. I only wish that they made bigger sizes. That's my one gripe. Here's a Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. I was using these pretty consistently for a while just because they're really easy to pick up at Sephora. They're cheap. And the mist is really something else. But you know what? I found alternatives that aren't from Morphe that I like just as well, if not better. My favorite one right now is the e.l.f. Stay All Night Microfine Setting Mist. Folks, you want to find mist? Hell yeah. And you cannot beat the price. I'm just saying that if you're looking for a setting spray, just go to the drugstore, pick up this e.l.f. one. Pretty much any other setting spray that I've tried and liked, this one's just as good. Ooh, yes, the Sol de Janeiro Brazilian Boom Boom Cream. It's a classic, and I scraped this one down, the walls of it and everything. Nothing beats that smell. These are great, especially for summer, a summer moisturizer that isn't too heavy, too greasy. This absorbs right into the skin. It also has a bit of a pearlescence in the formula, so it leaves your skin looking very lush. It's expensive, but this little travel size is perfect. Let's see. Ooh, yeah. So this was something that Influencer sent my way. It was a bunch of products by Dr. Belmour or Belmeux. But yeah, it came in a set. There was this tone smoothing serum. There was this foaming cleanser. This is the thing about Influencer. They never send you the stuff that you really really want to try. And I'm not a big fan of breaking up my skincare routine. So it was actually kind of a pain to have to get through these full-size products, especially when I wasn't like blown away by them. They weren't bad by any means, but they weren't like mind-blowing either. Foaming cleanser is nice because it wasn't stripping or drying. They're all quite heavily scented, so if that's something you don't like in your skincare, I would not recommend these products. And the serum, it was fine. It wasn't anything to write home about. And this is kind of why I've stopped using Influencer, because I really don't like looking a gift horse in the mouth. If they send me a full-size product, I'm going to want to go through the entire thing. And if it's something that you don't like, that is such a slog. But of course, it's like first world problems, like, oh, free product. Wow, what a bummer. Speaking of Sol de Janeiro, we have the Brazilian Crush Body Fragrance Mist. There's still a little bit left in here. It's old. I guess it still smells pretty good. I'm not the biggest fan of body mists in general. The fragrance just doesn't stick around for as long as I'd like it to. And I get it, it's a body mist, it's not really supposed to, but then it's kind of like a non-product, you know what I mean? It's just kind of a waste of money. If they made a roll-on perfume of the Sol de Janeiro smell, I'd buy that. Something from Good Molecules. I'm actually on Good Molecules PR list, so they occasionally send me lovely skincare goodies to try. And with Good Molecules, I really don't mind trying out new skincare because I know I'm gonna love it. This is their Rosewater Daily Cleansing Gel, and I went through the entire bottle. I loved this stuff. It was perfect for when you were doing a double cleanse because this isn't drying or stripping. It's just a really nice gel cleanser. Very simple, no bells and whistles, but I just really loved how my skin felt after using this. Also, I'm currently going through their eye cream at the moment. I think it's actually an eye gel cream, and that shit slaps. Also, I am a CeraVe convert. I don't think it's news to anyone, but CeraVe is having a moment right now, thanks to people like Hiram just blowing up their spot. This is the hydrating cleanser for normal to dry skin. Used up an entire bottle pretty quickly, but these are pretty fairly priced. They're a bit higher end for drugstore, but they work. They're perfect for sensitive skin. They don't dry you out. And this one's good, but they actually came out with a foaming formula of the exact same cleanser, and that's the one I'm currently using right now. And I actually like it even more. And even though it's foaming, it's formulated specifically not to dry out your skin. But you know how foaming cleansers just really feel like they're getting right into the pores and really just washing away all that grit of the day. So I would recommend the original formula, but would doubly recommend the foaming formula. A Neutrogena Hydro Boost Gel Cream. This was my go-to moisturizer for quite some time. I love a water cream. I love how refreshing they feel. One of my favorite textures of moisturizer, for sure. However, I'm finding that the older I get, the more hydration my skin needs, and this just wasn't cutting it. I feel like if you have normal to oily skin, this would be great. I've recently switched to one from First Aid Beauty. I'll leave a photo of it up here. I really like it. It's a little bit more heavy duty, especially at nighttime. I really prefer that. And then for daytime, I've switched to a moisturizer with SPF in it. Right now, it's the Fenty Hydrovisor. I'm actually really loving that one. And I really want to just hop on the SPF train before it's too late for me. But the Hydro Boost scent is still really nice. It's just such a nice fresh scent. I do enjoy it. These are both from The Ordinary. This is the Buffet Multi-Technology Peptide Serum, and this is the hyaluronic acid 2% and B5 serum. I use both of these twice a day, every day. I'm already halfway through my next bottles. And with The Ordinary, the Inky List, you really cannot beat the price for these kinds of ingredients. I mean, like the Buffet serum, it's, you know, apparently very good for you. And for the price, I can just sort of keep using it, hoping that it works. But I definitely knew that I wanted to keep hyaluronic acid in my skincare routine, at least somewhere. And a serum is just as good a place as any. This goes on before my moisturizer, after my toner. It needs something to grab moisture from. I'm not a skincare expert, but that's about as much as I know about hyaluronic acid. So I feel like a serum is a really good place to put it, as opposed to putting it in your toner or putting it in your moisturizer. For some reason, I just like the idea of keeping it separate. Speaking of hyaluronic acid serums, this is another great one for a really good price. Backtracking a little bit, I would also put Good Molecules in with really good, affordable, ingredient-focused skincare. Good Molecules is right up there with Inky List, with The Ordinary. It worked just as good as The Ordinary serum. My only gripe is that the dropper component completely broke while I was on vacation too. It was kind of a bummer. It hasn't happened before or since with anything from Good Molecules, but it's just something to note. And hopefully that was just a fluke. We got a beauty blender in here. I mean, it's still one of my go-to sponges. I know they're overpriced. You can get the same thing at ColourPop for like $7. I get it. It's still the one I keep going back to because it's the one that always works for me. It has one of the best textures of sponge. It's a little more porous than a Real Technique sponge, which for me are sometimes just a little bit too dense. Plus it's the correct size. You can fit it right under your eye. It's also big enough that you can use it all over the face. Plus, if you take care of them, they can last you a really long time. You just gotta make sure to keep them clean. Beauty blenders usually last me like 3 to 6 months, I know. But listen, I wash them regularly, and when they're not in use, I keep them dry so that they don't collect any mold or mildew. I have noticed that a beauty blender will last me a little bit longer than, say, a Real Technique sponge. Usually the Real Technique sponge will break down a lot faster, and I don't know if that would make the price point worth it for you, but it kind of makes it worth it for me. Moving on. I have a tiny bit left in here. I can't seem to get it out of the sifter, so I'm gonna call it done. This is the Milk Makeup Blur and Set Loose Finishing Powder. The powder itself is just a bit too finely milled. It looks like rubbish if you try and put it under the eyes. I've never liked it for setting my problem areas. However, it looks great dusted really lightly all over the face. It is great for that. I would probably choose my Fenty powder over this one. But if you don't have the craggiest under eyes like I do, then maybe you'll like this. Mabel and Meg, I used to be big on them. This is the Lumelixer Vitamin C Serum. And I've kind of stopped using vitamin C purely because I know that it's so volatile. I probably couldn't get through this entire bottle before the vitamin C started losing its potency. Plus, Mabel and Meg is so expensive and nowhere in Canada sells it. There are other brands that were just way more convenient for me that it just wasn't worth it to be shelling out so much money for the product itself and also for shipping and possible duties and taxes. Like, you gotta pick your battles, man. Oh, another good molecules. This is a niacinamide serum. I opted out of using niacinamide because I actually prefer using glycolic acid. They roughly do about the same thing, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, I could be wrong. Skincare buffs out there, leave it in the comments below. But I just love glycolic acid toner so much that the extra niacinamide was just kind of messing with my skin a little bit too much. Some people swear by niacinamide, and maybe I could be swayed if there was like a better niacinamide product out there that I liked more than the serum. I don't know, you'll have to let me know. This is the Living Proof Perfect Hair Day 5-in-1 styling treatment. I've gone through a couple of these. I can't remember who got me onto this. I think it was a freebie from Sephora, to be honest. It's the thing I use if I want to blow dry my hair straight. I used it today. It has a nice, rich, smooth texture, so when you are blow drying your hair, especially for me, when I'm blow drying my hair, sometimes my ends get so brittle that it's hard to roll the brush all the way through to the ends without it getting caught. This stuff just makes that a little bit of a smoother ride. Plus, this tiny bottle, I swear to you, lasts me an entire year. Plus, it smells great. Haven't found something that I like more for doing blowouts. It's not like it's the most revolutionary hairstyling product, but it works well enough that I don't feel like going out and searching for a new one. Oh, here's the third thing from Dr. Belmore. It's the Cica Hydro Cream. It was fine. It was a moisturizer. This is the Laneige Water Bank Eye Gel. Finally got through the whole thing. I think it took me like almost a year to get through all of this, maybe 9 months. It's a very soothing texture. This stuff is very reminiscent of the Vichy Mineral 89 Eyes eye serum, as well as the Neutrogena Hydro Boost Gel Cream. Any product that has the word water in the title, they pretty much all use the same scent, even across brands. It's really weird. And it's fine, you know, it didn't perform miracles. It was a nice hydrating eye gel. I don't think I'd repurchase it because I didn't find that it was really doing anything, but yeah, it was fine. Another one from Good Molecules. This is the Squalane oil. I love a face oil, especially at night. It's a new discovery of mine. I love doing facial massages, so the Squalane oil was great. Also, they have I wonder if I have it in here actually. This is the Pure Cold Pressed Rose Hip Seed Oil. Squalane is supposed to be used for regulating the balance of moisture in your skin. The rosehip seed oil is supposed to restore the skin's elasticity. Either way, I really enjoyed both of these for what they were. If I were to repurchase either of these, I would probably repurchase the rosehip seed oil. I think it was just a more luxurious experience. It had that hint, that just a whisper of rose smell, even though that's an arbitrary thing that doesn't actually do anything for your skin. I still think that would sway my decision. The Urban Decay Quick Fix Hydrocharged Complexion Prep Priming Spray. I feel like that's about all I can say about it. I'm a sucker for a spray. I'm a sucker for a hydrating spray. I'm a sucker for a priming spray, setting spray. I love sprays. I love spraying things onto my face. It is so refreshing and lovely. But the Urban Decay sprays are just so so gosh darn expensive, especially if it's just a primer. Like, just throw on a moisturizer, throw on a primer. It doesn't need to be in spray form. I don't know what I was thinking. Two more things from Bubble Bath and Soap Co. I went through two of these again. This is the Cozy Flannel Body Polish. If you want a self-care moment, get yourself a body polish. This stuff will leave your skin dolphin smooth, baby butt soft. Again, I think it's a sugar scrub formula, but instead of soap, it has oil so that it actually hydrates your skin as you're exfoliating it. And it just leaves your skin feeling so soft and buttery smooth. It's the perfect winter skin treat for your body. Cozy Flannel was a bit of an intense scent. There was a lot going on there, so I don't think I would choose that smell again. But when winter rolls around, I definitely want to pick up another one of these. Again though, would love an econo-sized jar, please. We got a couple of eyebrow pencils. It's the eyebrow pencil I've been using for years. It's the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil. It's my favorite brow pencil. It works the best for me, and I haven't found one that is either cheaper or that rivals it. For now, this is the one I'm going to keep using. Plus, I like the color. It's not too warm, it's not too cool. Plus, the component is the sturdiest component. These spoolies are great. They won't snap off or break, which I find is a problem with other eyebrow pencils that I've tried in the past. If you're looking for a micro brow pencil, this is one of my favorites. This is the Pixi Glow Tonic. I think I've talked about this in my previous beauty trash video. This was my go-to glow tonic because, you know, I could pick it up at the drugstore and it was really easily accessible. Even though it was a bit expensive for drugstore, it was one that was pretty much at hand whenever I needed one. I was perfectly happy with it until I started listening to Hiram. He was the one that turned me off of this. So I did switch to the glycolic toner from The Ordinary, which is actually cheaper and there's no fragrance in it. It was definitely hard letting this one go though. I've been very attached to the Glow Tonic for quite some time. I think this is the niacinamide toner from Good Molecules. For some reason, I got rid of the label. I think maybe because I had plans to reuse this bottle. And the niacinamide toner was fine. Again, I prefer glycolic acid to niacinamide right now. It's just what works for my skin. Glycolic acid doesn't break me out. And I was noticing that niacinamide was just kind of messing with my skin a little bit more, but it's probably just because it wasn't used to it and I didn't give it enough time to get acclimatized to it. Here's another foaming sugar scrub. This one's from Witchbury Avenue. They're a soap company that is on Vancouver Island. I have ordered from them multiple times now. Their bar soap is my favorite. And for me, someone who lives in BC, it's a no-brainer. I also really loved this foaming sugar scrub. Oh, this one's maple sugar. It smells exactly like maple candy. If you're Canadian and you've ever had maple candy, that's what this smells like. Again, portion sizes. Wish they were bigger. I went through this in like 3 days. It's not enough. It's not enough scrub.
Give me more scrub.
The last two skincare things, I've just got a couple of little mini water creams, probably little freebies from Sephora. We're talking about good textures. This is a good texture. It's just a magical feeling of when a water gel cream just sinks right into the skin. So I love the water cream, and every time I get a chance to try a little freebie of it, I will grab it. And it would be the perfect daytime moisturizer if it had SPF. I ideally just would prefer having a daytime moisturizer that had a strong enough SPF so that I wouldn't need to have a separate SPF product. However, it does kind of save me from spending an arm and a leg on a moisturizer. So for that, I am kind of thankful. We got a few makeup things in here. Finally decided to part ways with this old Light Illusion foundation. This has been kicking around in my makeup collection for quite some time, and I think it was just time to say goodbye. I try not to hold on to foundations for too long, and I still do. This is a great foundation though. They finally started stocking Flower Beauty in my local London Drugs. I was so excited to see them because before you could only find Flower Beauty at Walmart, and I think that was only in American Walmarts. The only other Canadian retailer that I knew of that stocked Flower Beauty was well.ca, I think. And listen, object permanence is a thing for me. If it's not right in front of me at all times, I'm gonna forget about it. So really, that's the only reason why I broke up with this foundation. Also, it is a little on the heavy side. It's a beautiful finish. It's very glowy, but it is a bit heavy. But it has SPF 18. So if you're looking for a really nice luminous foundation at the drugstore, this is a great option. I've got two NARS Radiant Creamy Concealers. Affogato is the color that I go with usually. It's a really nice brightening tone for me. It's got a really good peach undertone. It's not super cool or warm. There's nothing quite like the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, and that is why it is so upsetting that it is so expensive. I don't know what it is with me and expensive concealers. I literally just started using the Kosas one It's pretty much the exact same price point, but I just can't find a drugstore alternative that is anywhere near as good. It's the best. I hate it. I hate it and I love it. Speaking of drugstore concealers, this is the Revlon Candid Antioxidant Concealer, and it's good. The color range isn't quite right for me. This is 005 Fair. It's almost too yellow for me. I just wanted something that was maybe a little bit cooler, a little bit peachier even. It's why I love the NARS one so much. The undertone is just chef's kiss, but this one, it's fine. I feel like if I was gonna go with drugstore concealer, I'd probably choose the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer over this one. Almost done. I went through an entire Agave Plus Nighttime Lip Therapy Mask from Bite Beauty. I actually preferred using this as a lip balm because the texture was perfect for using underneath lip products. Plus, there's a lot of product here, a little bit more than your average daytime lip balm. As far as nighttime lip masks go, the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask is heads and shoulders above this one. It just has the most luxurious texture to it. It's silky, it's not too sticky. So if you're looking for a nighttime lip mask, I would definitely choose Laneige over Bite Beauty. Here's another one that I decided to part ways with. It's the NYX #ThisIsEverything Lip Oil. It's just past its date. I actually really enjoyed this. Again, I think texture-wise, I prefer the lip sleeping mask from Laneige over a lip oil. But for what it is, and also for the drugstore, this stuff is really nice. It's super hydrating. Two of my favorite mascaras right now. This is the NYX On The Rise Volume Lift Mascara. I've been using this pretty much consistently for the last year or more. For the price, it is the best mascara. This is my favorite type of applicator, that silicone, really spiky applicator to separate my lashes, make them look really fluffy. I'm not a big clumpy lash person. I will take separation over volume, but this guy does both really well, also lengthens, doesn't get all over your face. Once you get down to the end of the tube, however, it does start to get a little flaky and dry. Oh yeah, here's the Agave Daytime Lip Balm from Bite. Not my favorite. I think I went through this in like a matter of weeks. There was not a lot of product here at all. And for the price point, I definitely could have used a little bit more. Also, the texture is super weird, like really thick, and it doesn't glide as well as I would have liked. Last couple of things. This is the Kaja Balmy Bento. Kaja also sent this to me in PR. Thank you, Kaja. At the bottom here is a little lip scrub, and then on top there was a little lip balm. I actually would have preferred these be sold separately. As much as I love the bento shtick, the bento gimmick from Kaja, because it's just so adorable, I just wasn't the biggest fan of this scrub. It didn't scrub enough. There's not enough grit here to really make a difference. It's basically just a lip balm with a tiny bit of sugar in it. There's just not enough grit there to actually exfoliate the lips and really, you know, slough off those skin cells. My lips get real crusty sometimes, and I need a lip scrub that's just a little bit more heavy duty, that's all. But if heavy exfoliating lip scrubs are not your thing, you might really like this. Lip balm is great. Wish there was more of it. Last but not least, this is the Salty Face Freckle Stain. This is a Canadian brand, which is why I was so keen on trying it. It works exactly the same way Freck does. If you're familiar with Freck, it's a freckle stain that you dab onto your face and then you use your finger to blot it out. So the reason I was so keen on Salty Face is because at the time, Freck wasn't being sold in Sephora yet. So I was constantly looking for freckle stain alternatives that I could maybe purchase locally. Salty Face was like this godsend. They used to be carried actually in a local shop that I could just walk to. In hindsight, I wish I picked up a second. So unfortunately, they stopped distributing this product at that local shop. So even though it's still shipping from BC, I'm pretty sure, I would have to again pay shipping for it, which is why I went and sought this out in the first place, was to avoid that. So now that Freck is being sold in Sephora, long story short, I've switched back to Freck. It works the exact same way and I don't need to pay for shipping. As much as I enjoyed supporting the Salty Face brand, especially because they're a local brand, it just doesn't make sense for me to spend extra money on shipping when I could just get it shipped to my house for free with Rouge status. But they do make a really good freckle stain. It's a really nice color too. It's not too warm. Sometimes Freck is a bit too warm leaning for some people. So I'd say if you were looking for a cooler tone version, this is it. And it looks like we made it to the bottom of the basket. That was a marathon. I am actually sweating. Next time, let's try and keep it to a year max, because this was a lot. Let me know what you think of the Empties videos, if I should keep doing them, if they are interesting to you in any sort of way. I know it's one of those strange curiosity things that some people really love and some people just really don't care for. So I would love to know your thoughts on that. And I think that is it. My voice is very tired, so I'm just gonna wrap this up. But before I do, please let me rattle off the spiel to you. Here are the many ways that you can help out my channel. You can give this video a huge thumbs up. You can comment down below what you thought of everything. You can subscribe. Any and all engagement with this video is crucial to its success in the algorithm. So if you have a few spare seconds, please engage with this video. You can follow me on other social media. I will leave those right there. If you wish to support me financially, I do have a Patreon. The link is down below in the description box, along with a bunch of petitions to sign and places to donate. All right, folks, and with that, please stay safe, stay sane, wash your hands, wear a mask, even though mask mandates are lifting everywhere. I strongly recommend you keep wearing them, especially indoors and especially if you haven't been fully vaccinated. On that note, please get vaccinated if you can. Just keep doing your best, and I will see you on the next one. Bye! My mouth is actually tired.